Hey guys, what's up? GreenMachineSam back with another video. I did have a Bears reaction video that I was going to post, but then the Keenan Allen news broke while I was at work, and it was supposed to come out this Friday, 3:15. I'm currently recording this 3:16 after I got off work in the morning. So, like I said, I had a Bears video ready to go, and then I look at my phone while I'm at work, and I'm like, holy fuck, Keenan Allen just got traded to the Bears. And I'm like, well, I gotta scrap the fucking video. And then, there was a couple other small things. A couple backup O-linemen signed. Dante Pettis as well. Not huge factors, but still more stuff to talk about. So, as a Bears fan, I think this offseason has went pretty well. Either way you look at it, whether or not you're a hopeful for Caleb Williams or you're a Justin Fields believer, I think either way you look at this team, I think it's in a pretty good shape. I think the only spots that we truly need help in are, of course, the interior D-line / edge rushing D-line. I would like to see maybe another veteran added to the interior O-line. As much as I like the guy that we picked up from the Rams as well as Ryan Bates, I think I would still like to see another veteran that can maybe play those guard positions as well. Maybe that's something they address in the draft, of course, but now we have virtually no picks. I'm pretty sure we have 4 or 5 draft picks at most now, which is fucking crazy. So it does increase the chances of probably Ryan Poles trading down at some point, whether that's from the number 1 spot or the number 9. There's a lot of stuff to happen, of course. I will say this, like I said, if you're a Caleb Williams believer or if you're a Justin Fields believer, either way you look at this team, I think we're in a very good situation for either one of those guys to come in and play particularly well. I think, in my opinion, anyway. That's my opinion. Because if you look at it, both the guys are going to have 2 receivers, 2 tight ends, a running back. The O-line has gotten improvements. Now, will those actually show up? That's yet to be seen, really. But you still have to mention them. You still have to sit there and go, okay, this has happened at least. They did try to make improvements. We're going to see them. DeAndre Swift is still a very interesting case. I don't particularly like it. I understand why they did it. I just don't particularly like it. Mainly because, as a Bears fan, we saw him for multiple years, on the Detroit Lions. Now, I understand their offensive line has gotten better and, they aren't what they used to be. But the fact that he couldn't succeed in Detroit, it always felt like he had a problem seeing holes. And then they want to bring him in after basically making a statement and not paying, a guy like David Montgomery. It's kind of weird. They've decided to pay the weirdest running backs. They decided to pay Tariq Cohen, who was a specialist at best and a punt returner. And they sent Jordan Howard packing. I understand after he left Chicago, he had no success, but still, it felt weird. David Montgomery, you let him walk, he has success outside Chicago. You let Matt Forte walk, he has another 2 good years in the league. It was kind of a weird situation all in all. I definitely think they haven't made a whole ton of correct decisions. Now, I understand, and I will say this, I do understand the whole, that was a different, GM, and it was a different set of, front office people and all this and that, and I understand that, and I totally get that. But it doesn't make it any less weird. It doesn't make any more sense, in my opinion. It's yet to be seen. I'm going to state this for the gazillionth time, and I know people might be tired of me saying this. I do not wish for downfall of a player. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, this player, I don't like him, I hope he fucking sucks. No, I'm just telling you how it is, how I'm seeing things. If I don't think that player is going to be particularly great, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, he's going to be fucking the greatest player of all time. No, not my style, right? I said I didn't like the Kevin White pick. I didn't like him. I said I didn't like the Mitch Trubisky pick. He didn't turn out great. I said I really liked the Leonard Floyd pick. That didn't turn out in my favor. All this different stuff. I think Kevin Byard is a good safety. I'm just worried, I understand the Eagles were able to go out and then get CGJ, but it's still kind of worrisome when you're sitting here going, okay, why didn't the Eagles want to keep him? Why? I understand he had a pretty decent-sized contract as well, but it does bring up some concerns when a veteran like that gets released after just trading for him. I know they didn't give up a whole ton of draft picks, a 5th and a 6th at most, and then Terrell Edmonds, who they arguably got an upgrade over. It does worry me why he wasn't re-signed by the team that had just traded for him. So, but with 2 years, I would assume we're able to probably get out of that contract pretty quickly, if anything. So if he doesn't succeed this year, there is that. And with a lot of the QB movement over these last couple of days, especially in free agency, it kind of shrinks and opens up certain doors, right? We could, if Ryan Poles decides, hey, we're gonna keep Fields, we're giving him one more year, we're gonna be on the Fields train. I honestly think we could see a spot where we could leverage that against the Commanders, being like, hey, we'll take Caleb Williams if you don't want him. And if the Commanders aren't completely sold on a guy like Drake May or J.D. McDaniels, I could arguably see we could drop down even one pick. We could pick up an extra second or an extra one, or I think it would be probably they're one of this year, they're one of next year, and a two of a future year of 2026. I genuinely think that. And, then we take Marvin Harrison at 2, create a super good receiving core. We have a great, rest of the draft. We trade down from 9. We pick up an edge rusher, maybe late first, early second, and all this different stuff. A lot is going to happen. And I think either way you look at it, whether we take Caleb Williams at 1 or we stick with Justin Fields and we try to drop down enough to still pick up Marvin Harrison or one of those top receivers, and all that, I definitely think there's still a lot to be seen, of course, with this free agency period. There's still a lot of big names left. I think they could still arguably go after some veteran edge rushers and maybe even a veteran interior O-lineman and D-lineman. There's a lot to still happen, right? We're only within the first 3 days of the actual free agency period. We're only within the first 4 days of negotiation period, right? With the legal tampering period happening on the 12th and it now being the 16th. There's still a lot of time left. There's still 2 months to the draft, so there's still a lot to be figured out and settled upon. Jesus, Carl Brooks is fucking my ass. But, there's still a lot to look over and really determine about this team. I would like to see more interior O-line help, because with Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis not particularly being the healthiest guys, I would still like to see some more veteran interior O-line help, just so that if something were to happen to them again, we would have those backups, we would have those situations figured out. The DeAndre Swift, I think I would give a B-, just all in all. Kevin Byard, I think I'd give a B. I think the Ryan Bates trade, I think, is very good. Is he going to be that starter, that long-term piece? I don't know. That's yet to be seen. Gerald Everett, I like the pickup, especially for the price that we got him at, 2 years. I think it was like $12 million or something like that. I think that's a very good price for a backup tight end, especially with him and Cole Kmet being able to split time. I think it'll be a pretty good option to have. Not a whole ton else has happened, really. I do like Jonathan Owens. I like that pickup. I think he'll be very underrated. I think when we go into those 3 safety looks, I think he'll be a big part of that. There's not a whole ton else to really talk about. They didn't really pick up an edge yet. I think the Bears are doing a pretty good job. Now, did they smash it out of the park? Did they hit a home run? I don't think it's quite at that level. But did they do a good job? Did they go out and, fix some mistakes that they had going into the last year? Eddie Jackson, Cody Whitehair, Lucas Patrick. Yeah, they definitely went out and fixed those. And then Keenan Allen for a 4th. I understand he is older. He's had some injury concerns over the last couple years. But, man, he should help out a lot. He's going to be able to just be open, get open, hit those zones, he beats man coverage. He sits in zones properly. He does all the little stuff right. I don't think either way, Caleb Williams will have the excuse of him being a rookie, but there's no excuse for Justin Fields next year. Even as a Justin Fields believer myself, I truly don't think there's an excuse for Justin Fields next year if he is the starting quarterback going into next year. I really don't think there is. You have your weapons. Your O-line has been improved. Your defense, if they continue to build on the success that they had last year, they're going to be good. There's virtually no part of this team that I'm going to sit here and look at and go, wow, they're not very good. Yes, we're going to have to still see progression out of Brisker and Gordon and Stevenson and, Dexter and Pickens and all these different guys, and hopefully Darnell Wright continues to develop and Braxton Jones continues to develop and all this different stuff. But I truly do not think there's there's really going to be valid excuses for Justin Fields next year. You have your weapons. You have your weapons. Even if Tyler Scott is the third receiver, or even Dante Pettis at this point, that's still a decent receiving core right there. I really, truly think it is. And, like I said, free agency's not done. We could even see a veteran added in the receiving room. Another veteran added in the receiving room. There's a lot still left in free agency. I'm just doing what I think so far has happened, rating what so far has happened. I think we're in a very good situation with the rest of free agency and with the draft just around the corner, really. Like I said, there's a couple key positions that I would still like to see maybe some veteran talent added to. I don't know exactly how much money the Bears have left and the exact amount of draft picks. I think it's 4 or 5 draft picks this year. And I don't think it's probably a whole ton of money now with the Keenan Allen trade. But still, whatever we have left, go out, sign some guys on some one-year deals, give some guys that maybe need a second chance, a prove-it deal, if anything. I think the Bears have done good. Have they smashed it out of the park? No, by no stretch of the imagination have they really smashed it out of the park. But they've definitely done a very good job. I think Ryan Poles has done a very good job. And honestly, the only 2 big stains that he... maybe 3. The only big 3 stains that he has on his resume right now would technically be Velus Jones and the Chase Claypool trade, and then you could argue the Roquan, getting rid of Roquan, but then again, you got 2 linebackers for the price of 1, so I guess it's just how much do you value those 2 guys versus one, ultra-talented dude. You can make the argument both ways. I'm slowly changing favor on Ryan Poles. I think he's done an excellent job this year so far. It's really going to be determined on what he could get for number 1 versus if we decide to draft Caleb Williams, all that fun stuff. I'm happy as a Bears fan, but then again, as a Bears fan, there's always that thing in the back of your mind where it's like it's the Chicago Bears. They're going to get greedy. The ownership's going to get greedy. They're going to come in, try to force something. They're going to be like, Caleb Williams is the next guy. Take him no matter what. And it could fuck up the team, could fuck up the chemistry, all that fun stuff. A lot of the Bears, DJ Moore, Jaquan Brisker, a lot of the guys have stated their, opinion publicly that Justin Fields is the guy and he needs help and he needs to, and they think he should be the guy. So we'll have to see. But if you guys enjoyed this video or any of the videos here on my channel, I would appreciate if you guys do stick around and subscribe. If you guys are watching the gameplay as well, and you guys are seeing some of the new players on both teams, whether it's the Green Bay Packers or on the Chicago Bears, these are my new rosters. Go check out one of those videos. They should be either on the cards showing up shortly, or they should be somewhere at the end of the video, or that you can just find them on my channel as well. To go play with them, go watch one of those videos. You guys can download the roster, all that fun stuff. But with that being said, guys, I'm out. Peace.